This would be very interesting.
This is a really good option. I think we're going to get a lot more small stuff out of this dirt.
That sounded good.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's explainer, Strike Gold at Mossy Creek, the Mahony's Plan B. To really grasp what's at stake here, you kind of have to feel the environment. Picture this. It's midday out at Mossy Creek, and the heat is, well, it's just brutal. Absolutely brutal. Leckie, who everyone affectionately calls Mom, she's fading fast. Someone asks, Mom, what's wrong? And she just replies, I don't know. I mean, she'd actually already suffered severe heat stroke further north. Her body is literally failing her in real time. And the physical toll on this entire crew, it's hitting a very real, very dangerous breaking point. But here's the massive problem we're looking at. 12 ounces. That is the magic number they desperately need. And look, this isn't just some arbitrary goal so they can pat themselves on the back, right? This is an economic lifeline. Tyler, the daughter, she needs exactly 12 ounces of gold just to cover her 50% cut. If she doesn't hit that exact target, her brand new business venture completely goes under. So the environment is screaming at them to stop. Their bodies are begging them to quit. But that number, 12 ounces, is demanding they keep pushing through the dirt and the heat. So let's look at the agonizing reality of their situation. Their hard target is 12 ounces. But right now, well, Ted estimates he's got about 2.5 ounces. Mom has maybe 3. Ty has 1 or 2. So altogether, they're sitting at just 5 or 6 ounces total. Their detectors have gone completely quiet, the crew is beyond exhausted, and mathematically speaking, they are staring down a terrifying 5-ounce shortfall. Which brings us to Ted's desperate Plan B. You know, when you hit a brick wall, you don't just keep banging your head against it, right? Ted realized that wandering around the blistering bush just wasn't going to cut it anymore. He literally said, I thought we were going to tuck the towel in, but we've got a Plan B up our sleeve. So he calls in a local contractor, this sandstone legend named Scruff. And Scruff brings with him a wet plant, which is this heavy machinery capable of processing massive amounts of dirt way faster than human hands ever could. But as you might guess, salvation comes at a steep cost. Scruff is definitely not working for free. For his equipment and his labor, he's demanding a full third of whatever gold they recover together. Now think about that. That is a massive mathematical risk. By bringing him in, the Mahonys are essentially pushing their 12-ounce goalpost even further away. They now have to find significantly more total gold just to ensure their remaining 2/3 actually covers Tyler's 12-ounce baseline. So before they fire up the big machines, they do a quick proof of concept. Scruff scrapes away the topsoil, and the Mahonys run their detectors over this newly exposed dirt. They're working by the motto, gold in the hand is better than gold in the truck. And almost immediately, they detect and dig up these little nuggets. Honestly, this is a brilliant, totally relieving sign. Small, heavy nuggets are exactly the type of gold a wet plant is designed to catch. The dirt is rich. They just need the right tool to unlock it. All right, let's talk about the mechanics of the wash plant. Here is the exact mechanical magic of Scruff's whole operation. First, the pay dirt travels up the conveyor belt and drops into the trommel. That's a spinning cylinder that uses water to break apart the dirt and filter out all the useless rocks. Then it moves to the gold cone. The water flow here is so precisely calibrated that the heavy gold gets pushed up while the lighter dirt just washes right away. Finally, those heavy concentrates pop right out the back into the catch pan. It's literally a symphony of gravity and water. Because gold is incredibly dense, a wet plant essentially uses that physical property to its ultimate advantage. The water washes away the light stuff, and gravity traps the heavy stuff. It's that simple. Remember those small nuggets we talked about them finding earlier? Well, that proved the gold here was heavy enough to drop right out of the slurry and get caught by the cone. They actually matched the exact right technology to their specific geological problem. Okay, so after that first run, the tension is just palpable. Tyler looks into the pan of concentrates, and her reaction really tells the whole story. She says, I was expecting lots of little finds, not decent-sized nuggets. You can practically feel the sensory relief there. Instead of just getting gold dust, the pan is heavy with solid nuggets. Their gamble is actually paying off. The wet plant is catching significant weighable gold. And that leads us to the high-stakes pub weigh-in. The heavy lifting in the bush is finally done, and it all comes down to the scales inside this cool, air-conditioned pub in sandstone. First up, the patch gold. They detected by hand. That comes out to 8.6 ounces. On its own, a total disaster. But then we add the gold recovered by Scruff's wet plant, which is 7.8 ounces. Now that's a fantastic haul. But remember, they do not get to keep all of it. Right, they have to deduct Scruff's 33% fee. So if you take a third away from that 7.8, the Marnies are left with roughly 5.2 ounces. That right there is their true take-home from Plan B. So the question hanging heavy in the air of that pub is this. Will the 8.6 from the patch plus the 5.2 from the plant be enough? They do the final addition, 8.6 plus 5.2, yielding a grand total of 13.85 ounces. They did it. I mean, they absolutely crushed that 12-ounce hurdle. The relief in that room is immense. Against brutal heat stroke, against completely exhausted grounds, and against a massive contractor fee, they somehow pulled together nearly 14 ounces of gold. So let's get to the golden takeaway. The financial win here is pretty spectacular. That 13.85 ounces translates to a massive $22,000 haul from Mossy Creek. Plus, because they were actually the first team to make target this season, they secured an extra $3,000 bonus. Tyler gets to keep her business going, the family gets to go home, get out of that insane heat, with their heads held high and their bank accounts full. It was incredibly touch and go, but they made it over the line. You know, Tyler's mining pivot is actually a perfect mirror for everyday entrepreneurial struggles. First off, you have to recognize when to stop pushing. Ted saw dangerous health risks, and he made the tough call to stop. Second, leverage expert allies. You really don't have to do it all yourself. And third, accept the cost of survival. Sure, giving up 33% hurts a lot, but 66% of a massive haul is vastly better than 100% of a complete failure. The Marnies succeeded because they were willing to abandon a failing strategy and pay a steep price for a better one. So it leaves us with this thought. When your back is against the wall and the heat is really on, what's your plan B?